Good morning, everybody. My name is Steve Smith. I'm the editor of PHC News Magazine, and I'm joined today by Brandon Gunnell, Vice President of Precision Plumbing. Brendan, thanks for coming by.
Thanks for having me.
Brendan, Precision is known for a lot of products, but one of them is particularly trap primers. So what's going on in that market?
Well, as you know, trap priming is all about keeping people safe.
Yes.
And keeping that sill in traps. We've seen kind of a trend where electronics is where we kind of want to push people. We think that with all today's water saving initiatives and actually just the flat out reliability of the unit, that's something we want to see people do more of.
Okay. So electronic is, I think you mentioned before our interview started that you still make both mechanical and electronic. In fact, you're coming out with a new mechanical product as well. But what's
correct?
The advantages of the electronic?
Sometimes with a mechanical trap primer, you're a slave to water conditions, really hard water conditions. Brass is going to zinctify, clog it up. If your lines aren't that clean, a lot of things can affect that. We also mentioned that, like a stadium, game day. If the water's flowing through on that system, you're going to be priming all day long. Or if it's not flowing, it's not going to prime.
Right.
With an electronic, you set the time, so you control how much that primer is priming, and really it's a water conservation thing. You can set it to, you find out what the evaporation rate is for your area, and then you just set it to barely keep it primed, and you're saving water, and you can prime a whole lot of drains with one unit.
Okay. Now I was talking to Ron George. Ron George is a pretty well-known plumbing engineer by trade. He's also a columnist of ours.
Yes,
he's
good friend of ours.
Engineer forever and a day, as far as I can think of. And he was talking about, obviously he is for electronic primers, but he says a lot of people that aren't for them say it's a waste of water. Now, how do you answer that charge?
For the very reason that I explained, if you're at a high-use urinal or a high-use faucet, you're priming that trap all day
the time,
long.
naturally.
Yep. With the electronic unit, you set it to as little as you want. It's not. It's just a small amount of water.
Okay, that's the key.
Yeah, and you can set it how long the valve's open, so you can do as much or as little water.
Okay. And
you can do the timing of it as well. Thank you.
And I think Ron was talking about the fact that maybe the common misconception is, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of people think that the electronic is going to flush the urinal at full volume. But it's not. It's not meant to be that kind of flush. It's a little bit of water, enough to keep everything working.
An electronic trap primer is going to be piped off of the water line that feeds the urinal. So you don't even need the urinal.
Right.
It does. The urinal flushing is kind of irrelevant to an electronic trap primer. It's got its own water piping and primes that trap as you set it.
Yeah. And mechanically, the old way, did literally a janitor have to walk around at 3 a.m. to flush these things, or what? How was this taken care of? Or wasn't it taken care of?
Hopefully there's people washing their hands or using the bathroom and that flow through. That still works. If you're priming just one drain and you're trying to do it real economically and you get proper flow, and the trap will be primed. And our new unit that we're coming out with, our redesign, is going to do that pretty efficiently.
All right, perfect. Okay, well, that's a good segue into my next question. What kind of new products is Precision planning to come out with this year?
Our PR500, which is the probably the #1 piece of equipment we sell, is being redesigned.
Okay.
Today's low flow environment, it's got to be really sensitive. So we had to make let me back up and say that this unit it works on the pressure drop of the system. So if you flush, the system loses pressure a little bit. That tells the primer to prime the trap.
Okay.
And with today's low flow environment, it was hard to get. You have to be. Sometimes the traps weren't priming. Our competitors, we think, may struggle there.
Okay. Because the water's too low, or
the water.
I mean,
the pressure. Not enough water is being discharged.
Naturally, yes.
So the system is not losing pressure.
Yeah.
And the trap is not being primed. Where we've created a new trap primer, definitely the most sensitive on the market that should prime.
And that's coming out at what point in the year?
We're making them right now. So hopefully around March 1st, we're going to start shipping them.
Okay. Now, Brandon, I know that you and I have talked before, and I've got some pictures of this new testing center that you recently put in place at Precision. And I know you also did some testing of your arresters themselves at the testing center. So why don't you tell me a little bit more about that?
Esther, the arrestor tester. We, being a small family-owned company that makes everything domestically, we really need to sell on quality and innovative products that work.
Yeah.
We can't really, we're not about selling, probably not the low-cost producer.
Okay.
So to do that, we figured we needed the ability to test our products better than anybody else's. So we've created this system in our lab that really shows why you need to use arresters, shows the difference. We're going to release a video probably later on. We just started using it, and we set up a arrestor and slammed a valve closed, and it shook.
Yeah.
It sounded like an earthquake, and then we put the arrestor on, and the difference was just amazing, surprising, and I think it's really going to show people how putting an arrestor in your piping system is going to add to longevity, protect your system, and reduce water hammer, the noise.
Good. Okay. Now, again, you make a lot of products, and I think you've mentioned to me too with this testing center, you're literally testing every product before it goes out the door?
We test 100% of our products before they leave. Every product throughout has a testing facility so that it works, right? We are a small family-owned company. We can't have products that are out there. One mishap can ruin you. So it's really key for us to make quality products and test every product.
Okay, good. Now let's switch gears a little bit. We talked again beforehand. Tariffs are by and large, viewed as somewhat bad, I guess. But I think you have a good story to tell about tariffs. What's going on?
Well, everybody says they're bad, and I've kind of been smiling because we do everything we can, go out of our way. Jack, the previous president, was a veteran. He is USA proud, and we try to make everything in-house from U.S. products. So our brass that we source is from the United States. The copper we get is from the United States, and all the things that go into our systems, we try to make from the United States.
So, and I take it you have no trouble sourcing this from the United States for what you need.
Right. There's going to be maybe a O-ring or a valve here and there that's hard to trace.
Yeah.
We get it from companies that are in the United States, but they might get it from. But we're really diligent about trying to get locally or domestically sourced product.
Okay, good. Okay. Now let's talk about Precision itself. I know there's
so the tariffs.
Yeah.
I guess So the tariffs have really not hurt us at all. They've been.
Sounds that way.
I think we've seen maybe an uptick too.
Okay. Good. Well, you're the only good one I've heard. So
I understand, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but it's been okay for us.
Well, let's talk about Precision itself. I know there's been some transition in ownership, management, whatever. What's going on?
So Allison and Tom Amundsen, a year ago, about now, took over from Jack. Jack is retired, playing a lot of golf, doing really well.
Good.
And transitioned the business to the kids. A lot of Jack's, the people that work with Jack were kind of that same age. So Chuck Lott retired as well, and the product line manager have moved on. So we've kind of had an influx of new ideas and new people, and aggressive, and we want to move the company forward, because if you're not growing, you're shrinking.
No, of course. So a year into it, things are going well.
I think so.
Good.
I've been with the company for maybe getting close to 3 years now.
Okay.
Have really seen a lot of good things, put a lot of things in place with the team we have, and I really like the direction
Good.
that it's headed. Allie and Tom are putting money back into the business. They're in it for the long haul.
Good. All right. Well, one last question, Brandon. What can our readers expect to see from Precision in the year ahead?
Hopefully more of the same. We've taken all these initiatives that have put into place, and hopefully you'll start seeing fruits of our labor. We've got a new computer system for the whole thing that's going to make us efficient. We're improving lead times. We're going to put in a lot of inventory. Service is still something, quality and service. You got to have the service, and that's why when you call PPP, it's always going to be someone live picking up the phone, and they're always going to get back to you. So we're gonna block and tackle. We're building it the right way, and we're looking for growth opportunities.
All right, perfect. Well, more of the same, as long as it's as good as what you described, is pretty good. More of the same.
It's a well-known name in the industry, and we're trying to uphold that.
Good. All right. Well, let's end it on that positive note. Thank you, Vin, for stopping by, Brandon.
Appreciate it.